Everyone, sorry I'm a few minutes late. I had some technical issues, couldn't get you pulled up over on my iPad, but I think we're in business. We'll check it again here in a minute. Hello, if you're new, I am Pam Savage, owner of Young at Heart Creations, and I love to paint and create, and I especially like to do it with you. So welcome to my craft room, and if you are new, be sure and say that you are a newbie. Hi, Sally. Let me know if this is your first time watching. We're going to be working on, it's kind of a big piece, this boot, and I've already got some base coating done on it, but we're going to do something different. Do a little bit of painting, but then I've got something different we're going to do with it, and we'll get towards that. Towards the end, we'll work on that little detail on it. But first thing I want to do, I'm going to use some chip brushes and do some just dry brushing streaks on here, some different colors. I've got one on my front door right now where I painted all the flowers and I've got polka dots on it. But this one we're going to do a little differently this time. But I do need to get some shading done after we do, let's do the dry brushing first. So the first color that I'm going to use, the base coat is in Cactus Flower Deco Art. Hi, Heather. Hello, hello. And so I'm going to do a little bit of the shading color that we're going to use. And then I'm going to use a little bit of peach. Let's see, this is light coral. And this one is Anita's. Hi, Myra. So y'all be sure and tell me if this is your first time watching. So we're going to go ahead and do, I'm going to go ahead and do the dry brushing first. And then, and power knocked my clock out. So I hope I can see my other clock all the way across the room, but let me make sure that I can get you pulled up over here. We've had some storms come through and it has made things a little difficult. So let me see, make sure we can get in here. It is okay, I think we're in there. It's a little difficult, but I don't want the sound on. I don't want to hear me. All right. Okay. Hi, Linda. Hello. Okay. So it looks like we're in business. So I'm going to go ahead and bring you down. Hopefully I don't lose my phone. It's a little bit loose in there. And we're just going to do some simple dry brushing first. So I'm using they're 1 inch. Is what I've got, and then I'll have to wipe one off because I've only got 2 out. I might have another one over there that I can do. It's a little bit bigger, but I think it'll be okay. So let's go ahead and do the white first, and we'll just use the big one to do the white with. I've got an extra plate, round plate down here that I'm going to use for this. I usually like to use these trays because it gives me a little more room, but we'll do this on this one. Okay, so I'm going to get about the width of your brush. You can tell I've used this many times. I don't wash them out. I just wipe them off really good when I get through. And let's see if we get comments over here. I'm not seeing any comments on my iPad. Let's see if I can go out and come back in. There we go. I've got 2 comments anyway. Looks like it's going to be lagging today. I don't know if it's the storms or if it's Facebook. Mr. FB, Facebook, and I used to be pretty good friends, but I'm about ready to dissolve his friendship. I just haven't been happy with him lately. Okay, so I'm just going to get in the very tips here, but then I'm going to wipe most of it off, even dab it on my paper towel, and then I'm just going to kind of start right here in the middle, and I might have to go over and touch up the bottom of this and here if I get it on it, but that's okay. So just to kind of give it a little motion here so it's not just flat. And I know this needs another coat, but I wanted to wait the brown on the heel and the sole because I knew I would probably get this on it doing this. Okay, we might go over it with a little more white here in a minute, but let's go ahead and do our, this one is Wild Berry. And we're gonna bump down to the 1 inch. Okay, and this time I'm gonna go across. Just giving it a little bit of texture. Sorry, I know that's like scraping your fingernails on the chalkboard. Okay, and now I want to put a little bit of this Anita's Light Coral. Getting it on the edges too. And then I might go over it with a little more white. And you think, well, what do all these colors have to do with each other? But you'll see when we do our final step. Okay, and I think I do want just a little more white. Maybe a little more of that coral. Okay, I think that's enough damage. Okay, not even gonna worry about putting those in water. I do have a little tissue here that I'm just going to kind of blot the paint off. And then I will just set those aside and let them dry on their own. Okay, let me want to get this cleaned up so that it doesn't get all over the back of it. Just pull out a handy dandy baby wipe. Well, here in North Texas today, it is in the 40s and raining. It's been raining hard most of the day. A little bit of lightning and thunder, but I think the storms are supposed to intensify as they go east up into Louisiana and all that area. They're supposed to have some tornadic weather, so y'all be alert if you're up in that area. Okay, so I'm going to dry that just a little bit so I'm not getting my arm everywhere in it. Okay, I'm going to pull you back up because I'm not getting all of my messages on my iPad. Hi, Mary. Hi, Colleen. So if anybody's new, welcome, welcome. I want to remind everybody this Thursday is the day that I'll have the second live sale on my little, well, let me grab it, I dropped it. My little Dippin' Dotty tools. that make the neatest little designs. So there's 3 of them. And so we'll be selling these. I had to finally just cut it off, the last one, because we got so many orders. Let me tell you, that was a lot of invoicing. That's the most invoicing I've ever done. And packaging, and that was a lot. It was fun, but I was so afraid I wasn't going to get it all done in time. What I do, I take your orders for them during the live. Don't send me messages now, but during the live next Thursday, the 13th, at 5:30 Central Standard Time, we'll have another sale on these because I've gotten so many messages from all of you that for some reason missed the notification of the first sale that we had. Hi, Kathy. Hello, hello. So I'm having a second sale on them. And what I do during the live next Thursday, not today, but you'll comment sold, and then I'll get your name down, but you will send me a message in Messenger with your email address and your mailing address. That way I can invoice you. Hi, Judy. And then once I get you invoiced and get the payment back, then I send the whole order in at once. I don't order them individually. I send the whole order in, and my manufacturer of these, manufacturing guy, gets them all made for me. It usually takes him about a week, depending on how many we get. Okay, so let me hold this up. Here's the texture that gave on that. Now let's do some shading. Let me bring you back down. And I'm going to shade this with this color, the Wild Berry. Get these out of the way. I'm also having a paint party in my home on May the 3rd, and I'm waiting to see. I have, I invited first the ones that have always come to my paint parties that I've had. And so I'm waiting for feedback. I've got feedback from some of them, but I'm waiting for definite yes or no from them before I open it up to anybody else that's in the area that has never been to any of my paint parties. Because, again, it's in my home, so I'm very limited on seating. It'll be a very small, informal, relaxed, fun, just a little paint party with some refreshments. And we're going to be doing the tissue boxes. We're going to be covering those and painting those. You saw me do that. I don't remember if it was the last thing I did live. But anyway, there's a video on here for a little while, since Facebook's going to be taking them away. Not at all happy about that. But what can you do? Okay, I'm going to put one more quick coat of this because I splattered when I was doing this up here on this Wild Berry, just to cover those splatters of white. And I may end up putting some buttons up here. I don't know yet if I will embellish it, and if so, what I will embellish it with. So I'm just covering up some spots here. It's such a pretty color. Okay, so let's get some water on the, I haven't decided yet if I'm going to shade that or not, but we are going to shade underneath it and around the boot. So I just put water on it, on the surface, and now I'm just going to go underneath. It's the same color as this, but it will look different because you're shading it. And I'm just using an angle brush. And we'll come back and make that a little darker. Got a little bit too much water in it, so I'm just going to dry it just a little bit. Okay, now we'll go around the boot. And I'm going to I got my paintbrush in my mouth. So I'm going to use a different brush to get my moisture on there. Okay, so I've got a little bit of moisture in my brush also. And I'm just getting it on that very tip. Sounded like somebody was pulling up in our driveway, but it was across the street. So anyway, on the sale next Thursday, I'll give details. I'll go live and give details of the sale again, and then I will do a demonstration on how to use the tools. And then I will start taking comments. Sold. And it won't be first come, first serve. I mean, it's not like we have a limited amount. However many orders I get, that's the order that I will turn in. So it's not like, oh, she beat me to it. Nope, everybody will get one that wants one. Okay, isn't that pretty? Let's see where we are. There we are. Okay, now let's go ahead and do it up above the sole. This boot's got some sole, y'all. Get a little bit of moisture on it. Well, before we do that, I forgot to go do the second coat over this brown where I splattered everything. So let's go ahead and do that right quick. And I think I've got some brown already out over here in this other plate. Okay, I'm going to have to turn it around. This one's so big and my space is so little, I got to turn it around to where it's comfortable for me to paint it. So let's see if we can keep it in the camera here. Okay, so all I'm doing is putting a final coat on this brown. And then I'll do some shading on it as well. But I can do that last. Okay, I'm trying to look at my clock. All right. I think this is actually the first spring thing I've painted. Still painting snowmen and, well, I did paint sunflower. I think that could be spring or fall. This is the first thing with springy colors that I've painted this year, I think. I don't remember painting anything else. Oh, yay, Kathy. I'm so glad you're enjoying it. Kathy bought a tool, one of the paint tool sets. Kathy, did you get the set or did you get the initial, when I just was selling the one, just for kind of a test pilot one? Or did you get the set of 3? So far, I have not had any negative feedback. But if there is anything at all that you're not happy with about them, let me know, and I will pass it on. Okay, let's do the shading on the top here. And I'm sorry, I got to move you back and forth. This one is, let's see how tall this one is. It's 23 inches tall, so it's big for my space. Okay, so we're going to go back to the shading up above it here. With the wild berry. You got the set. Good. Okay. Good deal. Okay, so I'm just going right above that sole. And maybe going just a little bit faster than I normally do. I intended to go on earlier because I want to get finished before Mr. Pam gets home. But I got a very sad phone call. The friend that passed away today that they found in his home, and I won't talk about that much because it's still very emotional. Very good friend from church. Anyway, so just had to take a little time. Okay, so there's the sole. And let's flip this way. I'm so sorry, y'all. This is going to be a very mobile painting. You can use a spritz bottle, or there's so many different ways you can do the shading and the floating. I just find this to be the easiest for me, just to get it a little bit moist and just go for it. Sometimes I get too much water and I'll have to play with it a little bit. And after it dries, if it's not dark enough, I can go over it again. But I think we're going to be good. Okay, so that's our shading on that. Let's see if I want, whoops, I just stuck my hand in it right there and knocked the shading off that I just did. So let's put it back. Okay, so let me look over here and see what I've got. If I want to do something on the, I don't know what you call that, brim, I guess, kind of like a hat brim. This is Rockwood Red. I don't think I want that. Let's try Napa Red and see what we get with it. See what it looks like. Oops, let me shake it some more. First time it's been used. Okay, much better. Much better. Now this already has a hanger on the back of it, so that's what you see that keeps sticking out. I've prepared these for a paint party several years ago, probably 5 or 6 years ago. And I ordered extra ones to get ready for the craft show. We used the ones for the paint party, and then I ended up not finishing them for the craft show, and so they've been sitting in my to-do pile. Okay, yeah, that'll be fun. So I'm pulling them back, some of them back out. I've probably got, I don't know, 6 or 7 of them left. So that was one of my goals this year, was to try to use up some of my stash before buying anything else to paint. Now for paint parties and things, there are some things, you know, I have to purchase. And this is probably going to need a couple of different coats on it. So I'm pulling out of my stash. Deep burgundy would be pretty on this too. Okay, and make sure you get the sides. The company I ordered these from it's called Wood Cuts, WOODCUTZ. I used to order stuff from them all the time, but they're not online anymore. So I don't know if they went out of business, but I sure couldn't find them. Okay, that's probably hard to see on camera, but I can see it really well. And I'm going to go under it one more time up here. I'm going to walk it down just a little bit, just meaning I'm coming down a little bit further. But I think I'm probably going to put something on this, buttons or something, I don't know. So I'm just coming a little further down with it because that's going to be kind of a shadow under there. And then I'll put a little bit more here. I've got a video I'm doing with another presenter Monday. It's not live, but I need to get my craft room cleaned up. I have been so busy painting that I've just got stuff everywhere. Okay, I put a few little streaks through there, so I think we're good there. And then on the heel, let's go and draw that so I don't ruin it. The heel and the sole, I need to go in with some darker brown. So the base coat on it is milk chocolate, and then I'm going to base it in dark chocolate. Probably would dry better if I hold it in the right spot, you think? Hi, Miss Peggy. You painted the side of the boot. Will you shade that, or does it make any difference? Really doesn't make any difference. Are you talking about the edges? I will probably go over them with a black furniture marker, or I may just leave it. I have everywhere that I've gone over. I mean, it'll need a second coat on it, but I just filled it in to kind of seal the wood. But a lot of times I will just paint it whatever color the base coat is. But I also go over them with, sometimes to give it that laser look, I'll go over it with a furniture marker. And this one's walnut. I get these at Dollar Tree. They come in black, walnut, and I think cherry. Comes 3 to a package for $1.25. And they were over in the automotive section. Erica Wallace gave us that tip, and it really is nice just to have a black edge around it. So I'm really not sure yet. But boy, you got good eyes to notice that. Side edge, okay. Yeah, and that looks fine. This is green because it was green because we were hand painting flowers in this. But we're going to do something a little different today. So I may leave that green. I'm going to see what it looks like before I make that decision. Okay, let's see if I can get you over here. This is almost the width of my table, the height of my table. It is so tall. Okay, let's get some water on here. I put that water on, and then I just dip my brush down into the water and then blot it off on my cloth. And then just on the very top. This may not be dark enough. I'll have to look. Once it dries, it's hard to tell with this light. Let's see, that's dark chocolate. That's soft black. I don't want that. Bittersweet chocolate is darker. Let's try that. That just doesn't look dark enough. So bittersweet chocolate. And I think that will probably be plenty dark. Plenty. Yes, much better. And you can make the sole of this one of these colors. It doesn't have to be, but this is typically the color that the rain boot soles are, that dark rubbery color. And this just gives it a little separation from the boot itself. So this is a step you can totally not do, but it sure adds to it. I love shading. The paint party that I'm having in my home in May, we're going to practice some shading after we finish our projects, or our project. We are going to, just on some poster board, or I haven't decided what yet, but we're just going to take about an hour, 30 minutes to an hour, and just practice shading, because it does intimidate so many that they're afraid to try it. And so, I thought just doing it on paper would help them to not be so afraid of it. It's just paper. It's not a project that you're doing. Okay, and let's go ahead and do it on the bottom. Not quite as much. just enough. Okay, we could put a streak here if we wanted to. Okay, it's so hard to get all of it in the camera at once. Sorry, it's noisy and loud. Okay, let me turn. I'm going to turn my little iron on because we're gonna use the iron. I'm gonna lift you up here a minute. Getting messages. So I've got this little travel iron. We're gonna turn it on and let it be getting hot. And it gets hot pretty quick. So while that's getting hot, we're gonna put some Mod Podge. And here's what we've got so far. And I'm going to get the Mod Podge on first, and then I'll get what we're going to put on it over here. And hope that I don't burn my arm. Thank you, Mary. Hi, Zelda. Hi, Dixie and Gina. Is it Gina or Jenna? All right, let's pull you back down. Ooh, I can feel the heat on that iron already. Okay, now I just want to make sure that I get it all the way down here at the edges. Oh, I dropped my brush in there, so we've got plenty. We've got plenty now. So make sure it goes out to the edges good. Okay, I think we've got it on the edges good. Let's give it a really good dry. Oop, I see that edge. Whoa, the iron's about to fall. Had some water in that brush and it's coming down on the edges. Okay, so you want to make sure that this Mod Podge is really good and dry. You could put it on wet, but we're going to use the ironing method on this one. Haven't done it in a long time, so, and I did not go back and watch my video, so I hope I'm doing it right. This iron sitting over here and the cords are kind of entangled, so I'm making sure that I don't pull it off and have a burn mark. That would not be fun. I also have some letters that I could put welcome down the center of the boot. That would be pretty. So I'm not sure exactly how I'm going to embellish it yet. What's the weather like where y'all are? We've got rain and stormy, cloudy, and just about not even an hour from here, they're supposed to have snow. I've got flowers blooming in my flower bed. Yesterday it was nearly 80. And today it's in the 40s. Okay, I think that's dry enough. Set that back over there so I'm not pulling that off. Okay, so here's my plan. I got this. This will be my last purchase at Joann's. So they're going out of business. And I cut it. I cut it out ahead of time. I think I need to trim a little bit of this here. Just a little bit. Okay, so let me trim a little bit of that off. And I'm going to double it so it'll be easier for me to clip. I don't want to get too much of it off. Sorry, this is probably not in camera, but okay, yeah, that's better. Much better. Okay, so I've got to make sure that I get it right where I want it. And I'm going to go ahead and tape it in place just in one spot so that it's not slipping around on me until I get it stuck. I did cut it just about 1/8 of an inch larger than what it actually, the wood piece actually is. And then I'll go back and trim it. Okay, I think we're good. So I'm just going to place a piece of tape there. I've got some parchment paper if I can reach it. Don't fall out of my chair. I don't think it really matters which direction it's going. I can see through it, so I want to make sure that I'm still where I need to be. Okay, and I've got it on the highest setting. Really pressing it down. Yeah, all of the Joann's are closing. They went bankrupt. So I want to make sure I really get it around the edges good. Okay, it's set enough now I can take this tape off. And I may have to put a little more under the edge there of the Mod Podge. You know, it's so sad. They've just had a lot of problems But I think a lot of it, their prices were, in some cases, double what Hobby Lobby and Michael's were. Okay, so I'm kind of going down around those edges. So I want it to really be on the tips good. All right, I'm going to go over it slow. Whoops. Okay, feels pretty stuck. So I'll turn this off so I don't forget. And set it right over here. Okay, let me bring it up and hold it up. So far. Now you know why I used the colors that I did. Isn't that pretty? I just love all the colors in it. And it looks like you spent so much time painting it. And I think I will put some little buttons here. I've got some wooden buttons that I'll paint these colors and put here. And then I might put Hello Spring or Welcome. I really don't know what I'm going to put, you know, there yet. But now what I do, you can see how it is hanging off the edge, the material's hanging off the edge. I'll take some really sharp scissors and get it just as close as I can, and then I'll turn it over. And you've still got to put your Mod Podge on the top of it. But I want to make sure it's all good and stuck down. But I will take these little scissors. They're my sharpest ones. And I'll just go around and start right up against the wood. And that one's really in there. A little bitty thread there. I've got some tiny little fingernail scissors that I might have to use in some of these little corners, but so there you can tell the difference. This one here, how close I got that. And it's best to turn it over backwards. And you'll see if you, let me see if I can hold it close enough. So what I did, I laid the fabric, I cut a square out just a little bit bigger than this, laid it face down like this, and then turned my piece upside down, and I just took a pencil and traced around it as close as I could. Well, not as close. I did leave about 1/8 of an inch because sometimes you have to wiggle it around or something might happen. So I did leave myself about 1/8 of an inch, and that's why I'm having to trim it off. But I've just found that saves me sometimes when I need to do it. And then, and so then you've got your perfect piece to go on there. And then I just take my sharpest scissors and go around and trim it best I can. And then I Mod Podge the fabric and the piece also. The wood, I'll spray seal it, or I can just Mod Podge it too. It does either way. But if you're going to put it outdoors, if it's going to get weather to it, you'll want to use something that's weatherproof. Okay, so I just wanted to show you how I trim that, because I like to go ahead and Mod Podge it first and let it dry before I do the trimming, because I don't want my fabric getting dirty when I'm laying it over on here. So what do you think? Some cute little buttons here. Let's do a few little highlights in white. We can go ahead and be, I can go ahead and get the Mod Podge on it, let it be drying. And I'm just going to use regular Mod Podge because it's not something I'm going to be washing. As far as a washing machine. So let's go ahead and get some Mod Podge on it. Let me bring you back down. Hi, Margarita. So those of you just hopping on, I was just reminding them of the, I'm going to go ahead and just Mod Podge it here. And then I can spray seal it too if I want to. But of the sale on the Dippin' Dotty tools next Thursday, I'm going to keep repeating it because so many missed it. They didn't get the email, or I didn't have your email, and they missed the notification or the post that I put up on Facebook telling about it, and they were not upset, but just sad that they had missed it. And so I had several that commented that. So I told them we would do another sale. And then I will also, when I go to Florida in the fall, to Tamara Bennett's live event, unless something changes, I will be selling them there as well in my booth. Okay, so I'm putting this on pretty heavy. And I did not wash this this fabric. Now, if I were going to be using it differently, you know, I would, like the aprons, before I started painting those, I washed and dried those. Because I thought somebody might be washing them if they actually wear them. And I didn't want the material to shrink up after I painted it, if they washed it. Okay, just making sure to get those edges good. I think we're good on that. Okay, so I'm just going to let that dry. And then I'll go back, and looks really milky at first until that dries, but it'll dry clear. Okay, so let me see what. Okay, y'all, I said I was going to do something else to it. Now I already forgot what it was. I know I was going to do buttons or something, but I'll have to figure out if that's what I want to do with it or if I just want to leave it. So we've got it trimming there. So I don't want to seal this yet until I decide, you know, what I'm going to do with it. Let me show you the other fabric right quick. Let me grab it. Hold, please. Oh, good. Be sure and look me up. I'll have my booth, and Mr. Pam will probably be running it while I'm having fun. I'll help him during breaks. But yeah, be sure and come tell me hello That is the most fun. You know, I really don't get much painting done when I go to these. Raindrops on the top rim. Oh, that'd be cute too. Yeah, that would be cute. Not sure what I'm going to do yet. This will be the next one. You can never go wrong with sunflowers. So that's what I'll put at the top of the next one. And I'm thinking I may paint a beehive with some bees on it. I thought that would be cute. But I've got enough. I think I've got enough to do. I don't know if I've got enough to do 2 or not. I'll have to see. I'll cut it as small as I can. But this was just a little remnant that was for sale. It was already cut. And then this one, I just wanted a yard so I could do a couple of them. And she said, well, there's a 2-yard minimum. So I have 2 yards of this. So you may see me using this quite a bit on things. I don't know yet. We'll see. But the tissue box covers that we're doing in here at my paint party here, you know, you can put fabric on it. It doesn't have to be napkins, but so I don't know what they'll choose. I'll have a lot of things laid out for them to choose to do theirs with. But that's how we're gonna play that. I'll put some fabric maybe out, but some tissue too. Some napkins actually. All right, aren't those colors pretty? I just think, oh, I know what we were gonna do. We were gonna do some highlights. All right, with some white. That's what it was. Squirrel, I know. We've just had so much going on that my brain has been. And I have started this thing. I wake up about 3:30 or 4 o'clock almost every morning. 3 to 4 o'clock, and cannot go back to sleep. My brain just starts working. I was in here yesterday morning at 3:30 painting. Could not go back to sleep. So I thought, well, if I can't sleep, I may as well get up and be productive. So I did. And then by about 3 o'clock that afternoon, I was dragging. Okay, so I've just got some white poured on here. Miss Judy, you're close enough. If you're interested in the May the 3rd paint party here, I've just, because you've been to one of my paint parties before. It's just open to the ones right now that have been to one of my paint parties before. And you have. And I've only got a few seats, so it's very, very limited how many will be here. But if you are interested, just let me know. Send me a private message in Messenger. All right, let me get my long little brush over here. See where I stuck it. There it is. He's a little shorty like me, so he's sometimes hard to find. So let's put some, let's just do some little squigglies. So I'm just loading him up. I put a little bit of water on the brush. And we'll just do some little squigglies, and we'll put some little dots in between it. Okay, and let's use one of my, okay, I just decided what I'm going to do up here. I'm not going to put buttons. We're going to use my Dippin' Dotty. Okay, and I think I will use white flowers with the coral center. Okay, so this is one of them that's going to be in the kit that I'll be selling next Thursday. Here's the larger one. About the same, but much larger. And then a circle. That one's just a plain circle, just to help you kind of make dots, fill in dots, and they make great flower centers. Get it lined out and then fill it in if you have trouble doing dots, polka dots. Okay, so let's put one right in the center. So you just dip it. So I'm dipping and dotting, so dip and dotty. And we're going to put it right here in the center. And look at that perfect little flower. My favorite tool ever. Okay, and then I'm going to put one right here. Now, just got to be careful with those lines I just made. Right here in the center. I mean, to the right. And over here to the right. And then I'm going to swish it in the water. I don't want to leave it sitting in the water because the tip is glued on. So I just swish it off in the water, wipe it off good. And I just take it and put it on my cloth and rotate it around and get any paint that's in there. And if I still think that it's got a little bit of paint in it, I'll take it in there to my sink and take a toothbrush, my old toothbrush, and clean it out. And it's good as new. Okay, now we need the coral color. Oh, I got the light coral, and that's what I'm going to make my centers. So it does work best if you have a puddle and not flat. So now I'm using the other end and just dipping it in there. And we're going to make our centers. I'm going to dip again. And dip again. I'm going to wipe it off really good. And then I think I want some vines. So let's go with, for the vines, but let me get some drying done here. And then we'll put some little vines on there. And then I may or may not put a word here that says welcome or spring. I don't know, I'm gonna have to think about that. Now these dots do take longer to dry. So you do not want to get them super hot with your dryer. You just want to run it over it. And I do see something, so I can show you here. I'll be demonstrating this next Thursday too, but I didn't put the same amount of pressure on this one, so I've got a little bitty petal here. So I'm going to go back over it with this end and make it match the other ones. But I'm just going to kind of heat set it just enough to where, and I'm keeping it moving, but just enough to where the bubbles or the petals, your dots, aren't going to go anywhere when you lift it up. And I splattered some white paint there a minute ago. See that? Okay, and then I'm going to put some little dots in between these lines, but let's go ahead and get our greenery done. And I think I could just use that same long liner brush that we just used. And I'm going with Hauser Light Green, because that's pretty close to the leaves and vines that are already in that fabric. Okay, and let's connect them. So I'm going to start down here kind of at the bottom. And just very lightly connect them. Let that dry a minute and I'll put a second coat on it. See what a difference just that one little step makes. Okay, let me go over this one again. Okay. Now I'm going to switch back to get a shorter round. This is a number 1 grabby round. Let's use that one. And I'm going to mix some of that light green with some black forest green. I mean, I'm just going to load it on my brush both at the same time. So I'm just putting that light green on there. And then I'm also going to put on the bottom some of that dark green, and we'll make some little leaves. Press down, and then just lift up. And same thing again. And we can put them in different, different spots. Let's put this one over here. So I'm just putting the light green on the, will be on the top. I'll press it down on the bottom. Whichever color you put on the bottom rises to the top. Seems like just the opposite of what you would think. But you get instant shading and highlighting that way. And let's go ahead and put a leaf here. And down here at the bottom. Okay, and let's put some little white dots. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Whoops. Got too close to that one. One, 2, 3. And 1, 2, 3. That one a little larger. Okay. And I don't want to lay it to the side. You want to always clean it right after you use it, so it will last you a long time. They're hard plastic, really, really hard. Some kind of plastic. I forgot what he told me they were made out of. What kind of plastic? But very, very hard. Okay, let's hold that up and see what you think. Now I still got to trim. Let's see if we can get it held up here. There we go. There's your little flowers. What do you think? Think those colors coordinate okay? And again, I may put a word here. I don't know about that yet. I think the colors are pretty. Hi, Carrie. Hi, Susie. And Vicki. We had a bunch hop on while I was looking down. And that's how easy it is. If you can't paint, I mean, you could even cover this with some other kind of material, with some kind of plaid material or something, or a solid color. But that was simple painting. That was just base coating and then dry brushing. If you're watching the replay, go back and watch the beginning. I know sometimes we kind of skip through them, but watch the beginning and I can show you how quickly we got this texture here. So easy to do that. You're just pretty much scraping it on. So that's it, except I have to decide if I want to put something here or just leave it plain. like that and then seal it. I think I'm not even going to paint the back of this because I already had a hanger on it. I'll probably just seal it. Thank you, Margarita. Thanks, Susie. Thank you. Thanks, Mary. So these are not the colors I have in my home, but I love them. I wish I had a room with these colors. If I had another room, this would probably be the colors I would put in them. But I just think they're so cute. I think they would even be cute in a young girl's room because of the colors. But anyway, if that doesn't say spring, I don't know what does. You like the different idea of using material. Yes, it is fun. And napkins. You know, I could do this with a big napkin. I've got several napkins over there that I could do it with. And like I said, I've got probably 5 or 6 more of these. So I may use napkin on them. The one that's on my front door right now, I hand painted the flowers in the top part. It's got green background and then hand painted the flowers in there. And so that's another way you can do it. You know, these flowers here, I just call them messy flowers. They're so easy to paint. I mean, there's not really even any shading on those. It's just using your brush and making some petal looking things and with different colors. That doesn't even have any shading. Now you could really add to it by doing some shading, but look how easy those flowers would be. Okay, ladies, don't forget, and I'll remind you again, but the live sale that is next Thursday, the 13th at 5:30 Central Standard Time. I'll be selling the only thing that we'll be selling is the sets of these 3 tools. You saw me just use this one, so they are so much fun, and I'll be doing more demonstration. You know, with this one, I'll demonstrate them all again before we actually get started with the sale. And I'll have more of the rules and everything on there. But this is what we're going to be doing. I just love these. Love these. I've got a gingerbread girl that I used this one on. But let me go ahead and show you what it does. Basically the same thing, only just larger. Let me just do it. I'll just do it on here. See if I've got enough paint left in a puddle here without having to pour some more. Okay, this one you have to get a little bit bigger puddle because it is larger, but you're just going to dip it down in there, make sure that you've got them all covered, and you'll just make your little flower. And they don't even have to be flowers. I just call them flowers. And then put whatever colors you want. The petals can be whatever colors you want. And you just want it really drippy off of there to make you a good center. Not center. You don't want any centers. You want a center. Okay, I'm going to swish that in the water really good. And then I'm going to wipe it down really good. And get my wet cloth over here. And I'm just going to put it on the edges of that cloth, run it through there, rotate it, and run it through. And if it's still not coming off good, then I just take it in the restroom and get it good with my toothbrush. Fun little tools. And then this one is really just to give you an outline. This plate is on the curve here, so it's kind of hard to get it around it, to get it on it. You just get it covered and make your little circle. You can leave it like that, or you can fill it in. Got it right on the curve, so I can't hardly get it on there. You can interlock them and fill them in. There's just so much you can do. But these make really good, I don't have much paint left on it, but really good little, let's see what brush I've got in here. Flower centers. If you want, I'm going to fill it in with a different color, but If you have a hard time making circles, you can just fill it in. Of course, that would need another coat. And there's your flower center. And you can make really nice flowers. Let's see where my little round. This one's really not, this is not a big enough brush, but you'll get the idea. And you use that as floral center or just bubbles and just make you some nice little petals. You could load it with 2 or 3 different colors. Okay, I'm going to put a little bit of white in it. Well, I got some white in it right there. And now I've got a mixture. And we'll go over that one a little bit shorter. Anyway, no end to what you can do with them. So much fun. Now that I've made a mess here. But this stuff's easy to clean up. Okay, that's it, girls. I have got to go get some taco salad going for my hubby. That's what we're having tonight. What are you having? What are you having for supper tonight? We had spaghetti last night, and then we have a meal at church tomorrow. Hi, Cindy. So mark your calendars for next Thursday. At 5:30 Central Standard Time. Let me get another wet wipe to clean my mess up. And we will see if we can get some of these 2 little painting tools, my little Dippin' Dotties, in your hands so you can start having fun with them. They're really good with kids too. Okay, these that I'm painting on right now, see how easy that cleaned up, are just floor tiles. Well, they're actually wall tiles that they used in our bathroom. And but I think they're floor tiles, but they used them on the wall. And they were just left over here at the house when we bought the house last year. And they make great little painting things to put under here because they clean up so nice. They're a little bit noisy when I claim things and forget, but other than that, they've been really good. Okay, ladies, that's it, I promise. Thank you so much for hanging on, and I wish you would please sprinkle out the love in this video so that I can grow. I am at 1,959, so as soon as we get to 2,000, I will be doing a drawing or 2 or 3, I don't know yet, for some happy mail. So help me get to that 2,000 mark. I'm trying so hard to get there so that I can send out some good happy mail. So help me get there. And again, don't forget next Thursday, and I'll see you again before then. But I've got a busy Monday, and doing some things for Miss Tamara Bennett. Y'all know she's my painting mentor, and so anytime she calls and says, could you, before she even says what it is, yes, I will, whatever. So anyway, thank you so much for watching. Y'all have a wonderful, wonderful Saturday, what's left of it, and a great Sunday too. All right, see you later. Bye-bye.